For many Ugandans, elections have become the most difficult political exercise. For people living with disabilities, it is many times worse.
Disability comes with an extra cost, and it doesn't matter what kind of disability.
If going into a space means you can be tear gassed or before, during or after.
For them, it is not just the violence that has become commonplace, which keeps them away because they cannot run when tear gas and bullets rain.
I have no business being in a place like that. And I believe so many persons with disability would want to look at their safety, security as priority. Whereas others may quickly take off and run in a particular direction to avoid danger coming at them, it may not be the case for so many persons with disabilities.
It is also the lack of access to polling stations, the erosion of secrecy due to the absence of tools that enable independent voting, and many other barriers.
Now, some of the challenges that disabilities face in the decentralized system of government at the local level relates to accessibility, inaccessibility challenges, whereby some of the polling stations are not accessible. And you see, it is very difficult for persons with severe disabilities to participate in polling stations which are not accessible.
Okulonda okwagwa Mukama yatuyamba ne kugwa bulungi, naye ffe nga abaliko obulemu abamu twanyigirizibwamu olw'ensonga nti tebaayawula nti abaliko obulemu bajja kulondera wano n'abataliiko obulemu bajja kulondera wa. Kati wasanganga nga bataddewo layini okuva ng'eno n'eri. Mwe muli abaliko obulemu, mwe muli abakadde, mwe muli abavubuka ba myaka 18.3. Kati ng'omuntu aliko obulemu okubeera mu layini eyo tugeza akutte ennamba nga ya 6 emabega. Kati ng'anyigirizibwa okuva eri mpaka wanaatuuka eno musana. Ebiseera ebyo musana gwali gwaka. Ne weera nga bumwe ku buzibu obw'okubanyigirizibwa oba okunyigiriza abantu abo.
Why does a party organize elections of persons with disabilities on the same day with the youth? You can't be in the same place with the youth when you're disabled. They take up all the space.
The communication barrier is evident, and it was evident in various polling stations for the polling of when it came to polling officers engaging with the community of persons with hearing impairment.
As a result, the majority of the over 5.5 million Ugandans living with disabilities, according to the UBO's 2024 report, are disenfranchised, even though the law guarantees the right of everyone above 18 to vote and ensures equality. Agora, in this story, explores the systematic disenfranchisement of a group whose voices are muffled not by choice, but by neglect and the failure to provide the basic conditions necessary for their participation.
The environment is very difficult. If you look at the traction of election, pre- and post-election conduct, where quite a bit of it is a lot of violence and struggle back and forth. It becomes a space in which a person with disability finds it difficult to engage.
And in some cases, by lining up, exclude persons with mobility challenges entirely.
Abaliko obulemu tebagalira ddala kalulu ka mugongo. Kati nga ka LC1 luli kaali ka mugongo. Era ye kasita ogamba ka mugongo awo bagobye. Tebajja kulonda.
Another issue is the requirement to use thumbprints. The biometric voter verification machines introduced in the recently concluded elections, despite their general failure to be used effectively, would be impossible to operate for voters without hands.
Nimpozere kikiralikirizaamu buno obuuma obuzze simanyi babona abafavoringa nga abaliko obulemu wakati oyinza okwesanga ng'oli talina mikono. Situnnamanya ngeri gye bakolamu, tebannakisomesa.
The disenfranchisement is further worsened by the use of electoral colleges to elect representatives of PWDs. The problem runs even deeper. Existing laws rely on electoral colleges rather than direct voting, limiting their participation in choosing their own leaders.
Unlike other constituencies, a person with disability, if you must run as a member of parliament, you must traverse the country, the entire country, to be able to talk to the delegates who are spread across the country.
Beyond physical barriers, the electoral process has become commercialized with participation, influence, and candidacy tied to money.
When it comes to participation in the electoral processes, it even becomes very difficult for them because today's elections are so commercialized. If one does not have money, it is not easy to win. I must be very open to you.
When all the time you are talking to the voters were saying, yes, we are going to give you. They could even say, you are having the best manifesto. We have, among all these candidates, your manifesto is very good. And then when the voting comes, you hear, oh, Rose, you had a manifesto which was really good, but you didn't have the money.
Your points mean nothing if you have not complemented what you have said with some money to be able to convince us that you are capable to lead us or to be our representative, which I found quite appalling and very, for lack of a better word, disgusting.
For persons with disabilities who are disproportionately among Uganda's poorest, this is not a minor obstacle. It is a wall.
Persons with disabilities live below the poverty line globally. It's not just Uganda. And I think that the reason why most of persons with disabilities do not participate in elective positions is what you're saying, the high cost of nomination forms, the commercialization of elections at all levels, just from the village to parliamentary level. We all know that in this country, if you don't have the financial muscle, it is very difficult for you to go through an election.
Persons with disabilities are not asking for sympathy. They are asking for tools to access polling stations and ballots, adaptive voting devices, trained staff, sign language interpretation, and amendments to laws that discriminate and exclude them. They want direct participation in electing their own representatives, not indirect election through electoral colleges.
5 members per district is not representative enough of a particular district. So again, it goes back to the amendment of the law. It needs consultations and it needs engagement with members of parliament to see if we actually need to make an amendment to the law.
Akakiiko k'ebyokulonda okutereezaamu eri abantu abaliko obulemu nti bwe kanaabanga kategese okulonda tugeze nti tugenda kulonda ng'ennaku z'omwezi 15 January abaliko obulemu bat list balondenga before oba after ng'abantu abasigadde bamaze okulonda okwewala okunyigirizibwa kuli then kuno okwabangi nabo bajje balonde babalerumu obulunzi. Nze kyennaalisabye akakiiko k'ebyokulonda katuyambeko ku ekyo.
I don't even understand why we still have ministries, departments and agencies that cannot implement a law that doesn't even require finances. Because what I'm saying is, you don't need money to build a ramp. Instead of stairs, put a ramp. You don't need money.
And then the other recommendation is not to use children. Let them allow people to choose their own helpers, their own guides, who already they appreciate and they trust that, you know, if they have made a choice or if they have made their choices, this person is going to deliver exactly.
These are not exceptional requests. They are the foundation of equal participation. Democracy is not measured by the number of polling stations, but by who can reach them and who can use them. Every vote matters. Every citizen counts. The right to vote and to be voted for must be accessible to all.